So I'm here to solve the Sudoku by Ashish Kumar. While it has a diagonals theme, it really has this theme of these open white spaces, which don't give a lot of places in the grid to get progress. We can take the few spots where we've got repeated digits in sets of rows, like the two twos up top, put in a two note. In my either or style, the two threes put in another three. Putting in this digit we actually see in this space, we've got three left to place, 1, 4, and 6, and the 4 quickly eliminates all the options but one, so we put in this 1, 6 pair, which is going to be a key vertical constraint. We've got two 8s in this column, got two 7s in this column. This is the last 7, puts in a 7 over here. We've got two 2s in this rightmost column and two 3s in this rightmost column. So this pair looks to be pretty key. And as part of the early part of the solve, it actually puts in a 7 in one of those two cells and a pointing pair that forces 7 to the left. We've got two spots left for the 9 now with these cells marked off with this pair, which puts in a last 9 in this cell because it can't go in this top row, but there's got to be a 9 in column 7. That now comes in, puts in a 9, moves over a 2. 9 is coming down to one of these cells. Looking back to the bottom, we've got two 6s and two 7s, which puts in a 7 note, but the 7 has to go exactly here. And still coming back through places we haven't looked. We've got two 4s in this column, so we'll put those in. We've got a 9 that's coming down in this space, this place, and we've got a 9 that's coming across here, so I see that there's actually a limit of just one 9 in those two cells. Puts a 9 down here. We haven't looked in this lower right box yet, but this is a good time to check about its digits. 1, 4, 5, and 8 are missing, and 1, 4, and 5 are nowhere near this corner of the grid, but there are two 8s, and the 8s leave just one spot for an 8, so we'll put in this 8, which puts in an 8 here to finish the column. Puts an 8 note up top. Coming back to where I just made progress, we've got an 8 note in these cells, which now those work together, eliminate with this 8 in row 6 to give an 8 here, which moves down my notes, so the 8 goes down, 7 goes down. On the right side, the 7 up happens, and we have this completion of some of those cells. Just looking back in this space, we now have a pretty limited set of digits. This is probably one of the first sticking points in the puzzle and is a little bit of a hard step, and I think I paused and stared at this for a while. There are a few things that you can do if you're like a speed solver. One, for instance, is you can mark this upper right corner as not a 1 or 6 because it's got a uniqueness rectangle. If you put a 1 in here, there'd be, or a 6 in here, you'd have two answers. So, one kind of deduction from a speed solving path is to look up here for sure. But if we're on a logical path, I think the two sort of interesting spots in the puzzle at this moment are we've got this 1, 6 pair that's limiting this column, and we've got a 2, 3 pair over here. And so if we look back at this column, the digits that are left in it are 2, 3, 5, and 9. And so that 2 and 3 are digits I'm thinking about. But let's look at the 5 and 9 situation. There's the 9 is limited to these two cells in the column, is already marked based on the 9s further to the right, but there's this cell of a 5. That means a 5 is in one of these three cells, but it actually means that right now this cell here is limited to just a 2 or a 3, and this is actually a naked pair looking farther to the right, where 2, 3, and 2, 3 must be in the 3rd and 7th cells in that row. So 2 cannot be in the centermost cell because it's eliminated by the digits to the left and right of it, so a 2 is in this bottom spot. That puts in a 2 note here. This cell is actually forced to be a 4, 6. Right now because the 2, 3 is already eliminating this pair, so the 3 is coming down this column. Those 3s now mean in the bottom box that we've got a new 2, 3 pair forming, which is right here, which gives us 6. And here's now a place where if we've seen a lot of progress with 2 and 3, we should recognize 2, 3 may be the theme for this puzzle, and let's keep looking back at it. And we've got 2, 3 down here in the bottom space, so we're going to need to get 2 and 3 into this row. And notice that whatever digit this is, 2 or 3, will have to be in one of these cells. And the 2, 3 is eliminated here, so this cell here is now also forced to be a 2, 3. So this digit and this digit will be the same, and will complete either a 2, 2, 2 or a 3, 3, 3 in a space. Marking that as a 2, 3 pair now means that the remaining digits in this column are 9 and 5, and this is the only way those go. That also means this is forced to be a 9 because we moved the 9 from this box, so the 9 comes to the left. That puts the 4 up, puts the 1 up here. 1 is forced to be in the cell, which gives 6, 1, 6. We now get the 4, 5 conclusion we mentioned before. 6 is in one of these cells. We need to still have a 1, 2, 3 on this left side, so the 1 is in the bottom, the 2, 3 is in the remaining cells. This is now a 1 with 4, 5, 4, 5 forced. This is the last place for a 1, which puts in a 1 up here, puts in an 8, puts in 8. The 1s come down to this spot. We get 4, 5. 4, 5 is a pair up here. This is a 4. We've got 5s coming across. We've got 4, 5 up top. So now we're just going to need to place some of the last digits to really make the headway we need. One of the things to see is maybe helpful if I clear out some of this. With this 2, 3 coming across, we have 1, 4, 6, and the 1 is placed, the 4 is placed. This is now a single that's just a 6, which puts in this 4, which puts in a 4, 5, 4, 5, 5, 4. The last 5 comes over here, where I have a 5 on this side as well. We have 3 and 6 to place in this space. And with this being 4, 6, here's a 4, here's a 6, 6, 3, 3, 2, puts in a 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Last 3 puts in a 5, puts in a 5, puts in a 9, and up top we have a 6 to the left and a 5 to the right, and we finish this puzzle. So really tricky Sudoku puzzle. Only used basic steps, but it was really tracking these 2, 3 naked pairs. First these cells as key spots, finding that there are 2, 3s here, and then also this cell is limited to be a 2, 3 set. So it really required you to be pretty polished on finding these narrow spaces in the grid with limited digit choices. If you're not good at spotting naked singles or naked pairs, you probably had more of a struggle with this one. But really elegant design. Happy to have Ashish contribute to this puzzle, and hope you got a sense of how to think through challenging Sudoku. We'll see you again soon.